I'll share your frustration because I know people would be ready to spend £100 or more on other concerts, but they wouldn't spare £5 for events regarding the Serbian community events. And then they complain that there isn't enough that's happening. So if you want us to do more, give us the money. Thank you. Hello and very well welcome to you all on behalf of the Serbian City Club. And thank you once again for joining our latest Coffee With podcast. Please click on the share, subscribe and like button in order to be up to date with our latest interesting interviews we will be bringing your way. Our new episodes are available on the 1st and the 15th of every month at 7 a.m. UK time and 8 a.m. Serbian time. Today it is my absolute pleasure that we have an opportunity to talk to Maya Jordan, who is a pianist, but more importantly, she's one of those unsung heroes of the Serbian community, at least in the UK and Ireland, if not beyond, who deserves to be mentioned, in particular about all the wonderful projects that she has done for our community, but also to hear a little bit about her story in coming to the UK and how she finds living in the UK after all these years. Dear Maya, thank you very much once again for joining us today and for agreeing to speak to us.
Thanks, Natasha. It is my great pleasure being part of your popular series, which we follow regularly.
I'm really happy that we are able to speak to you today in particular because when we broadcast this episode, it will be during the 17th Serbian Month of the UK, extremely important manifestation and festival for our community in the UK. But if we start with you from the beginning, I did mention that you are a pianist. And I know that you studied both in Serbia and the UK. I would like to ask you, how would you compare studies and approach to music training in Serbia versus the UK?
To answer this question, I think we should start from the very first level of musical education and the difference between these two countries. Because education in Serbia, music education, is free. And the children which do join music schools, they are chosen and they're very talented children. So therefore, there is a big perspective that those children will succeed and be possibly maybe even artists later on. While in England and generally in Western countries, the case is slightly different because anybody can play because lessons are paid. So parents are choosing that children take music classes because of general education firstly. Both things have two sides. In Serbia, this is why we had so many very successful musicians later on, because our education is focusing on the talent and our education is very thorough. We have much more lessons, much more side subjects, not just playing instrument, but there is also, especially later in the secondary school, their subject is a history of music and harmony and contrapunct and many others. By in England, we have a very wide range of musical education and people in general are very musically educated because almost all children have been playing some instruments, some of the 2 or 3 instruments in their lives. So even when you talk with the people, like even taxi drivers, they have a big collection of classical music at home. I had a friend which showed me that. So that is very important for education of and general education of formation, which is really, really great in England, and I praise it. But on the other side, in Serbian education, it's easier to get talented children and proceed further. That's one thing. But the other thing is also the relationship between teachers and students. It is different. In Serbia, is much more intimate, and we are almost like a family. The students of the same teacher are gathering, and they're almost like a family, and teachers spend much more time with us. It's not restricted by the lesson. and the timing. And there are extra lessons if you need it. There is extra support, and which is really great. In Britain, it's slightly different. It's more professional, and lesson has a timing. If you want more time, you have to pay for it, which is fair enough. That's a business, and maybe in that way, contact is slightly more business-like. But comparing with Serbia.
Yeah, it's quite an interesting point you made now in relation to accessibility in terms of the music for people studying in Serbia or in the UK. So what advice would you give any inspiring musician thinking of studying in the UK, whether from Serbia or some other part of the world?
Then I decided to come to England. The first thing what I did was asking my friend and colleague Irena Dečević that did study in England for advice. And we met for coffee, I remember, and I had a list of these universities and lots of questions that I wanted to ask her. And what she advised, obviously, at the time was that there are better universities like Royal Academy of Music and Guildford and a few others. And that there are some other ones which are not so high levels. But I didn't have enough money for that. So that is the first task that as a foreigners, we don't necessarily have funds because it's very expensive to study here as a foreigner. So I enrolled the other college, which is London College of Music, which was much cheaper at the time. And I had the funds for that. But regardless, coming here, that's a great thing. So don't be always disappointed and discouraged if you maybe cannot get the top academy. Do come regardless, because experience is great. That they're all very good colleges altogether. And again, the most important is that you have a great education. I really have to praise our education. So you are ready. There are many foreign students here, and the competition is big, and it's very scary. And I was scared, like, I get in at all in the first place. I'm not good enough, but we are good enough. So living here in England, I realized how good our artists are. So get to count. Everything else is technical. And you will sort it out. You will sort out scholarship possibly, and maybe some other ways. We've been collecting money quite often for our students to help them. So just be sure that you have enough to show, and everything else is sorted out.
Yes, I can imagine. Living in the UK in particular, it's a much bigger market, so to speak, and the competition is much higher. But before coming to the UK, you also lived in Cyprus for a few years. I don't know whether you managed to play music while you were there. So I would be interested in hearing, how would you compare living in the three countries, Serbia, Cyprus, and the UK, in particular from the aspect as an artist? And did you face the same challenges all three countries, and had similar opportunities? Do you think anything was advantageous or disadvantageous in your journey to come into the UK?
These two countries are pretty different, and every country taught me something and shaped me the artist and person that I am at this moment. Starting from Serbia, obviously, being an artist in Serbia is great, but it's tough. You're among quality musicians, which is great because it's very inspirational, and it's very competitive. It's also great because I really believe that competition is good, because it pushes us to our limits. But on the other side, space is relatively small compared to England, of course, not necessarily with the sizes. And while you are studying, there are many possibilities to perform in music schools or at the academy, but later on it's relatively limited. Belgrade has many concert halls, but again, there is a big need for places to play. And on the other side, there is a bit of grouping of artists that, like we like to call clans, but they exist everywhere. It's the group of artists which help each other. That exists everywhere in every society, but it's a little bit more obvious in Serbia, maybe. And that is how you build up your artistic personality and professional career there. Then Cyprus is a different game. That is a place which recommend everybody who, if you have time and if you have possibility to spend a few nights somewhere like Cyprus. It's very small, not many possibilities. Yes, there are places where I did perform Cyprus as well, and there are places there and possibilities for the concert as well. But it's not competition there, and it's there is no that outside influence so much. So you turn to yourself, and suddenly you start to analyze yourself as a not artist as well, of course, but as a person. So you start to discover yourself. You don't have that like wide crowd which is expecting something. You're just on your own, and it's very healthy. And I have to say, then I was when I went to Cyprus, I haven't finished my master's degree yet in Belgrade, so I had 1 year left. So I had to prepare my program on my own, literally, because I couldn't go backwards and forwards for lessons. And I prepared almost the whole program on my own. And then I came back to my teacher, Zoe Interdisko, she's a great lady. She was a bit shocked and she was asking me, did I work with somebody? And I didn't, because she said that I matured a lot. And she was surprised how much progress I made. But I think this is because of that environment, because I was on my own and I kind of touched myself inside. And I came to myself and I discovered myself, maybe that things which I hadn't before. So it's really, really good thing, but it's small. And after a while, it's first to enjoy this environment, to be on your own, and you become bored, not just bored, but you start to feel after a few years. I spent 3 years there. There you start to feel like you are at the end of the world, like it's like the whole world is going forward, and you're stuck on this little island, enjoying beaches and enjoying the surrounding. But it is really small, and you really need as an artist to go forward and to be in more contact with others. And then I came to England, and that is a complete discovery. Especially London is cultural metropolis, and which brings good and bad itself, but it's impressive, obviously. There's so many opportunities, there's so many concerts. And what is great about England, there's so many associations, societies, and groups which you can join. So people work together. Comparing with Serbia, which is more like individual processing the progress of artists. Here, people do gather in societies. I was luckily part of that Serbian Piano Society. I was asked to join, and it creates Lady Carola there. And I learned so much, and I made so much contacts through that society. And then you go step forward and step forward from there. So you have lunchtime concerts. When I was younger, I played so many lunchtime concerts. It's great for younger people and younger performers to build up their career. You can organize yourself concerts, and so many opportunities, so many projects around. Now, what is the tricky here to be seen in this crowd? Because it's a huge palette of artists here. So how you can find your place here? That's a bit trickier. Myself, it was not necessarily planned that way, but I found my place promoting Serbian music and Balkan music in general, and our artists. That didn't happen with the purpose that I find something different. It's happened because of the later bonding, because of our need to do something about it, and we were desperate to change the picture of Serbia, how it was presented in the media. And I started to do concerts with my colleague Gordana Petrovic with the Probably Sounds of the Balkans. And actually that was like a spot on, because at that time, Balkan music wasn't being presented much. And there was interest not just on Serbian community and ex-Yugoslav community, but generally from British public. There was interest for different, they are very open to other cultures. And this is how I build up my place here. And late, let's say that's mostly what I do perform is really music from different countries, not standard that only Czech used to do more as garden.
A lot of what you said resonated with me. I mean, I've been to Cyprus as well. I was lucky enough to be there. Both sides of the island are absolutely incredible, gorgeous scenery. So I can understand in terms of the inspiration and how you were able to find yourself. You probably know my father was also a musician, played in the orchestra as well. So as a child, I used to follow him around. And you'll remember in Kalemegdan Fortress, they used to have concerts outside in the field, entertaining as it was in 70s and 80s, not as much these days, unfortunately. I just wonder whether you had any opportunity in Serbia to do anything similar before you went to Cyprus and to the UK, or did that come later on? Because I didn't go through the formal music school. My father was teaching me to play an instrument. I haven't played trumpet for a very, very long time, but I was lucky enough to have been exposed to it. So I was just wondering whether you had any opportunities throughout your education period to perform as well and build that personality as a musician, and also whether that wasn't in a way there's an opportunity and you had to build that in the UK.
No, Serbia has lots of opportunities, especially when you're building your career as a student, and I had performed a lot in Serbia as well, of course, and at that time was also former Yugoslavia. So we did perform in Dubrovnik, we had some school exchanges, there some festivals, and so there is opportunity in Serbia to play. But somehow it was all individual, like you perform your program and you try to build your personal career. I was young at the time as well, so maybe I will be different now. At that time, I didn't even think about projects, about joining people together. It was all kind of solo, like or chamber music, of course. But concentration was more kind of individual. While here in England, there are lots of projects, and this is different than to work with other people. Not that it's also for me personally, it's much more. Enjoyable working with other people, but it's also exchanging ideas, and all projects have that opportunity to progress if you have more people involved. So that would be the difference from in Serbia and now in England, what I'm doing.
I'm glad you mentioned that you were part of the scene, or that you are part of the scene, and that you started quite early on in trying to change the perception of Serbia in particular. And it is one of the key reasons why I really wanted you to be part of this conversation, because I don't think you get enough credit from all of us as a community in what you have done. And I wanted to highlight a couple of things and a couple of manifestations that you were involved with, because that they were the game changers. Because I have been here a long time. We met quite a long time ago as well. So I have seen that progression in terms of the perception of the community and how you have done that through musical manifestations and events. And one of those in particular that started the ball rolling, that gave our community visibility and aided its respectability, was the event called Following Constantine the Great, which I think at one point managed to bring together the highest number of artists from Serbia outside of its borders in one place. So I was just wondering if you could provide some more information about that event in particular, and how was it received by both the community and the kind of the country that we currently live in.
At that time, and also now, we are all looking for opportunities to connect Serbia and England, and any opportunity that we are trying to do something about it. And there was opportunity when was the celebration of 1700th anniversary of Edict of Milan, and chance Constantine the Great, he was born in Nice. And I remember we had a meeting with the Serbian Council, and George Tokosh was telling us this story about Constantine's son going on the horse, rushing to York to see his father because he was dying, so to get him before he died. And it was like a day and night journey, I think 3 days or something. So then idea clicked there. Why we don't do the same, but just to the art. And now that journey was last worried for 3 days for Constantine's son, but for us was 3 years actually. So it took us a bit more time, but we did a lot there. So a starting point was niche, and we worked on the contacts who we can work with, and we were lucky that niche orchestra was very keen to cooperate with us. And we did have some cooperation before because they came to England. Tio Ami came to England before, and we hosted them. So our first concert was in 2011 during NIMS festivals, but that was starting point where we connected not just musicians but also composers. So British composer who lived in France, Malcolm Bothwell, he wrote a piece of music and words were written by Paul Williams in England, and that piece was performed by choir, niche choir. It's a choir. So that was that starting connection, which was very important, and I invented with Silva being together and perform that. And then the bigger events happened really next year, 2012. And we had a concert in Culture Center in Paris. That was the idea because I don't know some artists there, Vesna Popovic, the pianist. So we organized concert there in February 2012 with Vesna and her colleague, the clarinet player, and myself and Silva again. And then the big events were during the Serbian Month that year. And in London and York. So we managed to get Anima Trio from Niche. We managed to get Vesna Vukotic from Paris, Maria Lavan from Germany. And because we had concert in London and York, York University Choir was joining us, and they organized a concert in New York. And the composer Vera Stanovic, she composed a special piece for this occasion. She came from America. And we also had the other side, like there is this lovely art school called Artino Art School. They made exhibition. They sent us these children which are learning to paint. So they made a lovely exhibition of art, which they sent. It was exhibited in London. So that is that kind of connection that we joined all and artists and institutions as well. So it was absolutely amazing. There were so many of us that we had to hire the minibus, and that was my first time to try minibus. Actually, George was driving from London to York, and I was going backwards in the middle of the night, and well, it was quite experienced driving the minibus, especially in the very, very late night when you're very sleepy. And my friends tried to kind of entertain me with Johnson Kototan opera here to keep me awake. Next year, there was concert in Germany, Central Council Serbian Hessen, Central Savet Serbian organized concert with the same purpose, part of the same project in Frankfurt in the Serbian Orthodox Church. So I think that was one of the biggest part of Serbian Month, which is very different thing and festival. This was probably the biggest project I made because it was so many issues and so many people to connect and to find as well, and just to join all together. I am very proud of that, and all of us here were involved in that project.
This is a really lovely story to hear, and the bonding exercise you had in the van. I'm just wondering, from your perspective as well, having lived here and collaborated with many artists that come from Serbia or the region, how do you think our artists that live and work abroad perceived, and do you think they or you get enough support from institutions or colleagues in Serbia?
There are many artists, Serbian artists living abroad, probably to the circumstances of 90s and generally maybe personal choices. And I have to say, our artists are very successful internationally. They have built very successful international careers and recognitions, and we hear all the time about successful artists, and we are really proud of it as a group of artists. We really field for every single artist. If it's almost like we done something. But problem is that certain institutions are actually not aware how big role these artists have. Yes, big projects are great, and the government does invest in some big project that the Serbia, from Serbia go and perform. But these day-to-day events and the smaller scale are probably even more important than these huge big events which somebody noticed or haven't noticed, because we are cultural ambassadors. Each of us has a colleagues, has a friends which are not Serbs, and we all present our country. We all present Serbian culture. We are all the way we are, and the way we are successful shows who Serbian people are. And there are not any funds, probably almost any funds for individual artists that we can apply. It's all through organizations, and on all these bids for the money, you have to be organization to apply for certain projects, and it's not anywhere support for individual artists which are not part of the organization. So I think the whole system has to look a little bit in the smaller scales, and smaller like more like those which are doing much better work than the media really together, because we are mixing with the real artists and real people here and everywhere abroad. Now, regarding the colleagues, the Serbian colleagues, they are very keen to come here, and it's obviously understandable, and we are very helpful to bring that here. And there is a big demand, and I have so many contacts and people that I do know or I don't know very well, or I don't know at all, but they got my number from somebody, and I try as much as I can, and as much as we have finances, to bring people to Serbia. I think that is one-way system. It doesn't work really the same when we go back there. Me personally, I'm not too keen to go so much to Serbia. Yes, I do occasionally and perform occasionally, but my world is now here, and I find much more beneficial really to promote Serbian music here, and that my use of my art will be probably more beneficial here than performing in Serbia again. But on the other side, there is a bit of questioning and about our success here, and sometimes I don't know, maybe jealousy, maybe not jealousy, but just maybe all this good news which are coming from abroad about our artists. Sometimes I receive with either denied maybe or questioned by our colleagues in Serbia, which is a shame, because our people are doing really well outside. But then that's not the story just now. In the past, in our history, there's so many very famous, starting from Tesla and onwards, which made a great success abroad. So and making them not so much appreciated at home, but that's the way it is.
I was going to ask you whether you get a chance to collaborate with artists in Serbia or even perform there. And what you've just said is so right. I recognized it through the work we do as a Serbian City Club, but many other organizations and individuals who are very successful in their own fields, not necessarily in music fields, but in IT, medical or any other, that there is almost like a gap in recognition of all the great things that we do. And what you said in terms of us being ambassadors, whether that's cultural or in any other shape or form, it's almost an expectation for us to do so. But equally, when you try to go to Serbia and do something, you either don't get any space. There's RTS Diaspora, maybe a couple of radio programs that will host people like yourself and other successful people, and people don't hear about them. And they'll say, well, maybe they're not as successful, but what is success really? So it's a shame that we don't, as ambassadors of our own country abroad, who are doing really, really hard work, and you in particular, with everything that you have done, that people don't recognize that. And I think it's such a shame. And I don't know, I'm agreeing with you that sometimes it can be a bit of a jealousy, but equally it could be just misunderstanding of what can be done. And on that point, I don't know whether you think there is an opportunity to change things in Serbia, And what do you think we could do in that respect to change that attitude to the artists or any other successful people who live outside of Serbia now?
That's a good question, and I am not sure about the answer, to be honest, because I've been trying with my personality, which I'm very modest personality. I'm not showing off really, because I think that work I'm doing is not for me to build up my name, but it's happened that I get some reputation with that. But it's discouraging when you go back and you organize events and then you have comments from your colleagues like they are better than us and all this, which is ridiculous, absolutely, because there is space for everybody there. And I think the change could come maybe with different generation. Maybe our generation is a bit frustrated with all these wars and everything else. Maybe younger people are more open because they have internet, they have, and nowadays the younger people, they're using internet also. They can see things happening because you can Google on Instagram and find about almost before was when we started on this project. I remember here and there was some article in the Politica or something, and then somebody would read or maybe not read, and so on. Then you come and say he did this and that. Yeah, that time maybe it was like making up, sounded like maybe they're making up stories just to show off. But nowadays, I think that's with all this internet and approachability to the news, I think there is a hope that younger generation will be slightly different. And they're not maybe so much frustrated in Serbia because Serbia is broke as well. And it's in our time, we couldn't back out to Serbia in the peace a little bit. All sorts of things, and it felt like a bit claustrophobic. But now I am positive.
That's good, and hopefully, with the episodes like this, we will bridge that gap. Not necessarily just with Serbia, but also with other countries where members of our community live as well. And one of the ways that we can do it, and what I want to mention now, is the Serbian Month in the UK. You personally and the Serbian Society, that where you're also active, one of the founders of the Serbian Month, like the Serbian City Club, but you have really taken the mantle in terms of organizing events in recent years. It is the longest running manifestation of that kind in the UK that I'm aware of. Maybe there was something before my time. This year, as I mentioned already, we are going to be celebrating 17th year. We're almost coming out of age. But I was just hoping if you, from your personal perspective, could give a bit of a background to the manifestation and some of the main themes for this year and previous years that we have covered.
So most of the projects I done in my past, the Serbian Month is the closest to my heart. And this is something that brings all this energy and willingness to do more and more and more. Of course, we get tired from doing the projects, but this one I never get tired from, regardless to all this field work which you had to do. How it started with the willingness of organizations to do something together. And that was 2009, and accidentally almost happened that a few events took place at the same time. There was a big conference in Leeds, their business conference, and Trio Anima came that time the same from me to perform in Leeds for the conference, and then we thought, let's organize a concert in London as well, as they're here anyway. And City Club, you had the first presentation in Parliament, and I remember that moment when they said, well, that is few events happening in the same week, and that is a great base why we got make it to be Serbian week. And we did it. It was very small at the time, only 2 towns, few events, but that was a beginning. Then we continued, did work. Then we realized that the good timing is St. Sava celebration, because the churches are celebrating. It's generally all around the UK are celebrating St. Sava. So we thought that's a good time to do Serbian week. And few weeks happened, but then it became very small because interest was great. So much more events were suggested, and we said we can get them off for the month. Let's try to see what's happened. And the programs was bigger and bigger, and more organizations joined, because originally it was only Serbian Council, Serbian City Club, and Serbian Society. We were kind of founders of this manifestation. But then it had much more interest from different organizations, or other organizations, ProArt and the library, Serbian library, the schools, church joined in, and the sports society, and the British Serbian Chamber of Commerce, and many, many others. It's lasting for usually 6 weeks, like starting end of January, and it's had to go to the month, so it's more than 10 months. What is the most important here? There are two aspects. One is obviously presenting our culture and connecting with the Serbia, not just Serbian past, but also nowadays we just have a Serbia in the culture, like book promotions and films and musicians that are out there at the moment. We are bringing them here because we do lose the touch, because we are here over 20 years in UK, and we are not necessarily in connection with that. The other thing is image of our country. It's really raising the image of our country, and joining together, showing which kind of organizations and which kind of events we can present. It's really raised the image of Serbian community here. But for me, the most important is for us, Serbian diaspora here, because we connect it so well. Starting the end of 90s, and all our organizations, most of our organizations, they were founded in 2000. Serbian Council 2004, and Serbian City Club as well. It was celebrated 20th anniversary last year. And only Serbian Society was a little bit in 93 founded. But we managed to overcome previous scattered scene of our organizations, which was natural at the time. So we managed to join together. We managed to overpass that competition, and instead of competing within one each other, we realized that this big stage gives space for everybody. And in last 17 years, we worked together, and we are really compact community now. People do say one of the most organized communities in the world, Serbia, obviously. And this is the biggest benefit. And so once we leave to younger people what we achieved, they have such a big chunk of foundation that they can carry on. We started with the bits and pieces, and we put it all in a mosaic, like a puzzle. So I think we made the puzzle the picture. Now you're just making picture better, bigger. If more money will be even better, but it's good enough. It's really something big.
One of the other things I wanted to mention in relation to the Serbian Month is that now you are together with Olga Stanojlovic, the main editor of the Serbian Month catalogue that accompanies the Serbian Month celebration, which you started a few years ago. How do you decide on the key themes and articles, and do you get any support for the catalogue itself?
Yeah, the catalog is probably the best thing that was produced from the Serbian Month project, because it's something which you stay for a long time, and it will be archived really, with all this information. So just a little background about it. The idea of any catalog was born when we wanted to celebrate 10th anniversary. And we made a very small one, then we just presenting all other organizations which exist in UK, and artists and sportsmen at the time. And then Corona happened, and as we couldn't had Serbian Month alive, we knew that people would sit at home, and we thought we had to do something different and special. And a part of Zoom events, we decided to do a catalog with a theme, and the logical theme was British Serbs. And the first approach was to do something more fun, like a food and customs, which people would like to read. But then we realized we needed to start from the beginning, and we started from the history, which was actually much more logical and was a great thing to do, because it started with the history of our communities, and that was our first catalog based mostly on that. And if first and second one, continuously talking about all these groups of our community which are around the UK, different cities like Leicester, Birmingham, Halifax, and else, not just London, obviously. And then we realized that there is so much more to say, and there were so many great British Serbs which read here, like a package, Gospel Bradovic, and many others. So that was the new chapter ending up, and a part of that. Then later on, we came to the food and the custom, which was probably the most popular topic for everybody. And then we turned to the culture. And at the moment we are working on the culture, last year it was music and folklore. This year it will be film and literature. Next year we are going to present theater and visual arts, and so on. We see how long we go with it further. At the beginning was almost trying to find anybody who would write something up for the catalog, because people didn't know about it, and it was a bit tricky to find people who would write about certain communities. So we used our contacts, and the oldest knowledge is great. She was born here, and she has a lot of contacts, and she fulfills really that part of the history and people here which we don't know about it, or we haven't been touched about it. So she's such a great support for material for the catalog. Really enjoy working with her. And then we realized actually that there are many academics which could help us. And now, at this point, we need the fourth catalog, actually, not 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth catalog coming up already. We are approaching to academics. And that works really well, because there are so many academics here and also in Serbia, because we are connecting now not just how our diaspora is keeping culture alive, but we are also giving some background of general Serbian culture. So we are contacting people which are in the particular field, like the music. So for me, last time was pretty easy, because I know so many people in Serbia which could help and recommend. If somebody can't do, they recommend their quotes. So that's one. Then the other help. Then third is internet, magic internet. Of course, when we think about the topic, we search and we see who could help and how it can help. Word by mouth, suggesting certain persons, and some things happen accidental. Like this year, we have in the catalog topic film, and it's happened that I was teaching the children of Shanin Sarif. She's a writer and she's a film director, and I knew the story. They did film despite the phone snow in Belgrade, and she was telling me their experience in Belgrade, and I just clicked for, oh yes, she could write the article, and she did write an article for this Serbian Month about her experience. So it's all these different angles how we collect material.
Yeah, I think that the catalogue itself is a great testament and a document of our community in the UK and Ireland, as we started involving them in that, almost capturing the memories and the traditions that we as a community have had in the UK, because it is quite long-standing for people who may not be aware, especially after the Second World War in the 60s and in the 90s. Our community has been here longer than in some of the other countries. And there have been a number of people who left a huge mark on the community, who helped it quite a lot. And I'm really pleased that we feature them as well, their stories, making sure that they are not forgotten, but equally giving a chance to new generations. And I loved reading articles from younger people as well, their perceptions and experiences of living in the UK as maybe second, third, fourth, or even fifth generation now, and how they are keeping our tradition alive. But I'm just wondering, how is the Serbian Month itself, and maybe even the catalogues now, perceived and received in Serbia? and around the globe? Because I know it has a huge impact for us in the UK. But what was your experience, or what is your experience of that outside of the UK and Ireland?
I really cannot be modest now, and I do have to say that generally Serbian Month is really well known now, especially in Serbia, but also around the world, because it's heard about it, and it is one of the biggest manifestations in the length of 5 to 6 weeks, in the amount of events, which is usually around the 40 events, in the amount of organizations and individuals taking part. So we should be proud of it and not modest to hide it. And the catalogue, that's the special bonus, because then I was giving catalogue to institutions in Serbia. They were absolutely amazed. First, the quality is really great, and thanks to our great designer, Uroš Junić, design is great. The quality is really good quality, and information is precious because it is archived. And it's really well received in Serbia as well. Then where the level we present, I must say, it do receive some funds from Serbia, but once we show the catalog, that's only there, which our amount that we received for Serbia was doubled. Probably catalog had an impact at that time, and then we come back to our normal smaller amounts, but still. And the media in Serbia are covering that greatly, and thanks to you, Natasha, as well, because you are one of our pioneers who will make that happen. And even in the papers, on the internet, and on the programs ready, there's so many interviews there. Sometimes I even don't have time to, or we don't have time to cover everything. What is lacking, it's more coverage in Britain. In our community now does not about events, but we are still trying hard to get somehow to the British media, and that will be maybe left for some later generations, or maybe for us a bit later. We are still working to try to get to be heard there, because we do have a quality in every sense. We have a quality here, so hopefully that's a word as well.
I mean, the catalogue is, as you say, it looks absolutely amazing. It is something that I like to buy and give people as a present, because it's such a great representation of our community here. It's done, as you've mentioned, with a lot of love. Apart from the fact that it looks very professional, it has stories that touch you, and reflections of our community that has had quite an interesting run of a perception in the British media, as we all know, because of everything that was happening in the 90s. So it's really nice to have something now that we can use to change those perceptions and try to penetrate the British media better than we had done in the past. But I'm just wondering if there is any way for people who are now listening to this, who may be interested, to provide any kind of support, either financial or in any other way. How can they do that, and what would be the best way to get in touch, maybe with you or other organizers of the event?
There is plenty of space and opportunities for everybody to get involved. There is some misunderstanding that quite often people maybe think that there is a team which is doing that, and then they cannot really approach it. But the team is so small; it's literally few people. Of course, all organizations are feeding us with the articles and with the information. But generally, the work itself is done by very few of us, which is amazing how we do it. We always ask ourselves how we manage to do it, but we manage to do it because I think it's love, which gives it energy. So one thing is, first come to the events. Many events are online, so no excuse. I mean, that we don't join events when they're happening. And yes, it's very crowded. It's very busy month, and people work. We all have our other lives. But what is important that we meet and that we support every single event as much as possible, not waiting others to come, because that's really important to make it work even better. Secondly, money-wise, we do collect donations. We have very restricted funds. We do receive something for Serbia, something we don't receive anything, and we really rely on donations. And at the moment, there is a Just Giving page going on. It is available on Serbian Council site, and it is circulated through Facebook and other social medias. It was open last year during the Serbian Month, and now we are a year back forward, and we collected £780, donated from 80 people. So how little that is. Thinking whole year was running, okay, maybe we have not advertised so much during the summer, but it was advertised very much last year. It's not about the month you give, you just give something, because give £5, and I'm sure that people need to have £5. And if 1,000 people give £5, that's £5,000. We are sorted for next Serbian month, and we don't have to worry about money. So please visit Just Giving and or just donate. I know not about the membership. People don't want to join maybe some organizations, and they have certain pledges. But this is not for organizations. This is for particularly this festival, which is beneficial for everyone. And the last one, and maybe the biggest at the moment, it's a help with social media. Then we came to UK, our generation in 90s. We had the older generation. Some people would remember Nitti from Brighton, Gordon and Miller, Olga Gakovic. They used to do things their own way. It was very old-fashioned at the time for us. And remembering Gordon and Miller writing envelopes by hand, like addresses, sending for
calling people by phone.
Exactly. And that was really old-fashioned. We were wondering, for that sake, can't she use computer? But that was her start, and did work. But that's the most important. Then we came, so we obviously have internet on this, but now we are in the same position with the younger generation. Social media, we are doing it, but very limited. We are older generation, like they used to be over for us. So we need people to help us with social media. We don't have time, and we don't have skills for that. We are not quick enough for TikTok, for Instagram, for all that. I'm using Facebook personally, and Facebook is already old-fashioned in some point of view. So please, if you have knowledge, and just call us and try to help us with making it more visible. And if it's more visible on social media, it will be more visible for everybody, British people and Serbian. And because every Serbian month, we have people which come to the event and they say, I never heard for Serbian Month, and it is the first time, and we are now running 16 years behind us. And I'm always amazed how it's possible that somebody who is Serbian haven't heard about this manifestation. But it is possible. Please use social media. That will be probably not happening so much. And the other thing is young people. Young people come or just organize yourself, and we will accept your ideas. You don't need us. We are here to help. We want to give you a platform, and you can do any ideas what you like. Just join us, because in few years' time we should be ready to retire, and we need young people to just continue on with work in different style, not in style how we do it. We are very open to change and to give our stage to them, and when they're ready to take it.
I agree. I mean, even just sharing posts on social media would be helpful. So if anyone sees the program or any events that they like, it would be really helpful just to share those for the visibility. But equally, on the money side, I share your frustration, because I know people would be ready to spend £100 or more on other concerts, but they wouldn't spare £5 for events regarding the Serbian community events, and then they complain that there isn't enough that's happening. So if you want us to do more, give us the money. Thank you.
Then one thing, sorry, just which really triggers our mind. There is a catalogue on display in the Serbian Month, and people take it, they love it, they want to take it, and then it says there is a fee for the catalogue. And some people buy, but most of the people just return. So we are not making profit. That money that if you do buy the catalogue, even if it's on your shelf or give to friends, speak to somebody, that is actually investments for next Serbian, the next Serbian catalogue. So as simple as that.
Brilliant. I want to focus now on another event, if you're not doing enough already, that you are running with your colleague Marina Petrov, and it's called Around the Globe Music and Arts. It's a festival which I think last year celebrated 10 years, but you will correct me if I'm wrong. Why did you start that on top of everything else that you're doing, and who is actually your audience? I've been to a number of concerts that you run at the end of the festival, so to speak, and I was amazed at the age gap between performers. And I was just wondering, what was the age of the youngest and the oldest participants, and how many cultural heritages as well have you managed to cover within that festival? Because that's not only for members of the Serbian community, is much wider, but it is absolutely amazing at what you're doing there and the opportunities that you're providing to even members of our community.
Yes, that's the other project, and it's my the other profession. I am teacher, educator. Marina Petrov, my colleague, also pianist and also educator teacher, a part of Serbian heritage. We have our daily jobs. We are all teaching, and then obviously we are putting as well all our energy into education. And I met Marina maybe 2 years since when I came, maybe even first year when I came to UK, and we collaborate, we perform together, and at the beginning we've been organizing concerts together, just opportunity for our students to perform together. We've been hiring the Polish examiners, pianos, and other places. And then Marina came with this idea, but we don't organize a festival, because there are many festivals. Festivals are competitions, basically, which will help us with our own students, but generally with other teachers as well. And there was the subject of how this festival will be different than others, because there are many festivals, and it's really contemporary music that caught our imagination. I was at that time trying why not Serbian music, but then Marina saw it better in the wider picture, because she said, yes, Serbian music as well, but in the much bigger picture, they will be more promoted. And it is more promoted because the main focus of the festival is promoting contemporary composers and their works. So it works on few levels. First, we find composers, and they are very willing to present their new books, their new music, and we are looking around the world. In the same time, we are promoting Serbian composers, and we have regular newsletters, but we also have magazines. And from our side, it was many like latest Šebeljan, Aleksandar Grujić, Ferenc Ranković, Ivan Rkačić, many composers, and we carry on that. Miloš Rečković who lives in America now. On the other side is asking and providing material for other teachers and students. They get introduced with the music they never heard before. So part of Serbian Month, we had music from Peruvian composer Monica Cardenas, some Russian composers, Titov, from Latvia, from Bulgaria, and British, of course, the many British composers was present. So two levels here. So children are learning new pieces, and teachers are learning. We are learning. There's so many. As a teacher, I haven't heard so many pieces, and this is an opportunity because we are like a stage, and composers are contacting us to give their music and they are promoting. The range is great because we have like young is 5 years old, old is 83 years old this year. So that's brilliant, really. Now, obviously, that can happen in England, and amateur, all the people, or adults, amateur are also involved, a part of professional performers. And in Serbia, you will not imagine somebody who is over 80 to play, and yes, to play maybe, but not to join festival. And I have my adult students, which are over 6 years old, and they are very keen to perform and to learn. So it's a different approach here when you're older. But we extended from piano festival, which it is this year, because this 12th January we have a award ceremony. This is the 10th anniversary of piano festival, but we have extended also to a composition competition, and that is something which really picked up this year. First, it was first one. We had the some, but not many. But this year we have much more interest from composers, and we have also a podium competition. So we are extending a little bit wider because there is a need. And we have this jury, which is very international. So that's also very good. We have people from Argentina, like Dante Santiago Zolini. He is a Argentinian composer. He's in the jury. We have Russian pianist Alexander Pejev, who is in the jury. We have Serbian Olja Jacob and Sanja Ratkovic and Samuel K. Marcel Zidani. And it's a great platform and opportunity to present Serbian music among other composers. And we had a lot of English or British or the other participants performing Serbian music. So we have, and it's on the YouTube. So it's great.
I'm just wondering, because you have been involved in quite a few manifestations and festivals, but also as part of the Serbian Month, I know that you have been involved with other organizations. I'm just wondering, do you cooperate with other Serbian organizations outside of the UK or any other organizations? And do you get any support from Serbian government or institutions? I know that there is a grant every year that you apply for in relation to Serbian Month, but beyond that, I just wonder whether there is any other support coming your way.
Support from yes, we are applying for grant from this Office for Diaspora and the Serbian region. We regularly apply, and usually we get some funds, but that is specifically for Serbian Month and occasionally for Serbian School. But then I applied, for example, with Around the Globe. We applied to the same bid, and we applied to Sokoj, was an organization. We never got anything for them. So what we do have, and I have great support from Association with Composers of Serbia. They are our long partners, and they do appreciate our working around the globe festival. They're providing us regularly with the music. They're providing with the prizes, and so special prize is from them. So only organization that we have this long-lasting cooperation is that. Then occasionally maybe cooperate with some organization or some smaller projects, but not really in the bigger scale. On my personal level, I do have very good contact with the Central Council of Serbian Hessen in Germany. It's more exchanging experiences. We did have this project, Constantine the Great, but exchanging experiences is very useful for my work with Serbian Council, because I can see how they are working, and they see how we work, so it's very useful. And all the others more on the individual levels cooperation.
You are by far the most active and influential member of our community, in my humble opinion, that I have ever come across. And I'm taking into consideration all the people that you have mentioned, including Miki, Gordana, Olga, Pale, etc. You managed to bring together musicians from Serbia and the rest of the world and showcase their amazing talent on many occasions. I'm just wondering, what drives you to do that?
My main inspirations are people, and I am a team worker. I like to work together, and ideas come from different people. Like, I hear an idea from somebody, and maybe I'm not necessarily one who raise idea, but I'm very good in picking ideas and connecting them. So I think it's my personality, because I like just to work together with the people. And once I have one idea and two ideas together, it's already rolled. And then on the rolls, I'm just picking up more ideas and more people. So I'm really inspired by the people. It's energy. IN seems to have a bit more energy than some, maybe most of the people. That's maybe natural, just physical thing. And IN prays for my energy. But if my energy is joined with the aim and willingness of the people of the same ideas, of the same, not necessarily same personality, but with the same visions, that is a huge support. That is the energy. So I have to praise my colleagues in Serbian Council because we work really well together, especially Olga Stanolic, our chairwoman. I have to praise friends from Serbian City Club because our preparation is absolutely amazing. And once I'm down and maybe not having illness, just one telephone call is enough to lift my spirit up. So while we are together, we can make miracles.
For the future, I'm really looking forward to this Serbian month and many other events that you're doing. But for you personally, what can we expect from you next, either in the UK or Serbia? Are there any concerts that you are going to be involved in that you would like to share with us?
I had one great experience this 2004, in March 2004. It was again a very special event which is stayed in my memory all my life. We being invited by our colleague Maria Bajavica, all ex-student, the former student of our teacher Constantine the Great, Russian teacher who used to teach in Belgrade, in Novi Sad, and Montenegro. And we haven't seen each other for over 30 years. And Maria Bajavica had this idea, why we don't gather together and invite him as well and make concert together. And that happened. It was 9 March 2024 in Philharmonia, South Philharmonia in Belgrade. And that was absolutely amazing. We played together. We felt like we are against students. And our teacher was there. He joined us at the end. And that week was a very special week and very inspirational. And got us back to our youth. And we felt all much younger when we came back home after that. So the concert was called Applause 22, Applause of 20 Hands. And we decided to carry on with it. So we got a date, 1st June 2025 in Kolarac. It's Sunday morning promenade concerts, which are very popular in Belgrade. And we are meeting together. Our teacher is joining us as well. So possibly 16 hands this time, maybe not 20 because the addition with the dates, but that's my next project that I'm really looking forward to play together with my colleagues and students, friends, and our teachers there.
That's very exciting. Dear Maya, honestly, from the bottom of my heart, thank you once again for your time today and for sharing very candid responses and being able to share all the wonderful things you have done. People may wonder why we are speaking in English, but we have decided to do so because we want to reach many more people, especially in the UK where we live, where you can share this interview with others in order for them to learn and hear more about all the wonderful things that Maya is doing, but also that we do as a community, in particular in relation to the Serbian Month, where this episode is going to be shared. Please share it with others. Please help if you can, either financially or just by sharing the event on social media or even forwarding it to your friends and colleagues who are either from the Serbian community or beyond. But for you personally, I'd like to thank you for everything that you're doing and to wish you success with all your future endeavors, but also on behalf of the Serbian City Club. You are right, we have a great relationship. We'd like to for it to continue for many years to come, but we really, really appreciate everything you do and wish you every possible success you can think of in the future.
Thank you, Natasha, very much. And we are a team. So as a team, we are doing well together. Yes, I put maybe a little bit more than others. Maybe I have opportunity to do it and energy, but you are doing as well, as much as maybe not so obvious because it's not art. Art is on the stage, but you are behind the stage, and what you're doing behind the stage that matters even probably more. So all together, we are a great team, and let's keep on and see what's happened.
And I would also like to thank you all for supporting us and urge you to click those famous share, like, and subscribe buttons in order for us to reach out a bigger audiences to hear amazing stories like this one today. And just another small reminder that our new episodes are going to be aired every 1st and the 15th of the month at 7 a.m. UK time and 8 a.m. Serbian time. Thank you all very much and hope to see you soon.